In the last video, you learned the format of cash flow. Now it's turn to understand the adjustment. Before even getting into adjustment, I would recommend you all to go through the format very carefully, because unless you know the format of operating activity, it is very difficult to understand the adjustment. I'll just take a recap of operating activity, because investment and finance is direct method is way too simple. Operating is where students usually go wrong. In operating, you start with your P&L account, that is net profit, and then you add the non-cash and non-operating item in the debit side of P&L. Alright, the examples are depreciation, amortization, loss on sale of fixed asset. Then you minus the credit side of P&L, the non-cash and non-operating, gain on sale of fixed asset, interest received, rent received. Alright, then you move on to change in working capital. What is working capital? I hope you understand. It's your current asset and current liability. What happens if the asset increases? I always consider asset as stock and liability as loan, so that I don't get confused. So whenever an asset increases, that means I purchase stock, obviously the cash is going out. And if the loan increases, that means I avail loan, cash comes in. All right, so keep these things in your mind, and let's move on to the adjustment.
Dear students, left hand side is a balance sheet given to you, and then below that there is an adjustment. These four adjustments are the common adjustment which you will always see in board exam. You will not have all the four, you might have one or two maximum. All right, so how are we going to do it? Now the first thing is, when are we supposed to create a ledger? The answer is, whenever an item is given in the balance sheet as well as in the adjustment, you have to create a ledger. It is compulsory. For example, over here it's mentioned dividend for 2019 is 20,000 and 2020 is 30,000. Now the word dividend, if you see, that it's not mentioned in the balance sheet. That means I will not create a ledger, but I am supposed to give two effect. As per CBSE, the dividend of previous year has to be taken. That means you will be taking 20,000 and you will give two effect. What is dividend? Dividend is the amount paid to the equity shareholder. So first thing is, under financial activity, you will minus this figure. All right, and it is a loss for a business. So in the operating activity, you will plus it. These are the two effect for dividend paid. So whenever it is mentioned in the adjustment, you should only take the previous year figure, that is 20,000, and give two effect. Now what happens is, whenever you give one effect in your financial activity, the second effect is always in the operating activity with a exactly opposite sign. I hope the first adjustment is clear. The second adjustment is tax paid 15,000. What is the journal entry? Tax account debit to bank. So in the tax ledger, I will be writing to bank, and I will write the figure over here as 15,000. Once I do that, I'll just simply close my ledger. So 20 plus 15 is 35,000, and the balance I will write here 5,000. And what is the balance? I will write P&L account. All right. Now, when we create ledger, I always advise the students to write two signs over here. The first sign is minus, and this side, the sign I put as plus. Now, what does this minus means? Anything in the debit side has to be minused, and anything in the credit side has to be added. Now, provision for tax, as you know, it falls under current liability. That means it is your operating item. So when I say bank minus, it means from operating item you have to minus. If you remember the format, we have tax paid in the end of operating activity. That's what this amount is, 15,000. And in the on the top, after net profit, there is an item called as add provision for tax. That is what 5,000 is, because you are making provision here. All right, I hope this part is clear. Tax paid, the journal entry is tax to bank. Now let's say that instead of tax paid, they have mentioned provision for tax made is 15,000. Now if this line comes, then what you're going to do? How do you make provisions? Provisions are always made out of your profits. So the journal entry is P&L account debit to provision for tax. So what happens over here now? I just delete this part, and as we told, the journal entry P&L account debit to provision, that means in the credit side of provision you will be writing P&L and you will write the figure 15,000. So what it becomes? 45 and this will become 25. And what are you going to write here? Bank account. Okay, so the balancing figure could be either side. You should be able to analyze based on the adjustment given. I hope provision for tax is clear. This is a very important, very important adjustment, because every year in board exam you will find this one. So they might say tax paid, or they might say provision for tax made. Depending on the statement, you have to take a decision of posting. Don't get mechanical when we do sums in this particular chapter. Let's look into the third adjustment. Again, one of the most important adjustment, and something which students do not understand, because last year in 11th when we were doing depreciation, most of the schools had excluded accumulated depreciation part, and because of which this year it becomes a little tough for students to understand what does that mean. So first thing is, the question is whether we are going to make a ledger or we are going to pass two entries. Now I can see this figures machinery and accumulated over here. That means in the balance sheet as well as in the adjustment. It means that I have to create a ledger. Let's create a ledger quickly. Machinery account opening is 1 lakh and closing is 150. I hope you all know machinery is a asset, and asset carries which balance? Debit balance. Okay, so over here I'm going to write opening, and over here I'm going to write closing. And what is the figure here? 1,50,000. Accumulated depreciation, okay, is exactly opposite of machinery account. Okay, you can consider it is a kind of a liability, okay, which carries a credit balance. So the opening of 30,000 you will be writing in the credit side. This is a common mistake which students do. They write it as they write the machinery account, and the whole sum goes wrong. If the accumulated depreciation goes wrong, your investment activity will also go wrong, not only operating. All right, so be very careful when you're doing the posting. Don't be in a hurry. This sums can be done very quickly. So this is what the posting part is. After posting, let's read out the sum, the adjustment. Machinery costing 30,000, accumulated depreciation 15, sold for 25. Now accumulated depreciation, you always keep on accumulating the depreciation for any machinery with you on the credit side. But when you sell a machinery, you have to cancel the depreciation accumulated associated to that machinery. That means this accumulated depreciation of 15,000 has to be cancelled. As you know, depreciation carries a credit balance, right? So when you cancel, you got to debit it. So over here, I will write machinery account and I will write the figure 15,000. Immediately in machinery, I will write accumulated depreciation 15,000. I hope this part is clear. Now, what I'm going to do, I generally ask students to do this. I ask them to put a cross here. Okay, I'm just putting yellow lines, but I want you to put a cross here. That means you have debited and credited. This 15,000 will have no impact in your cash flow statement. Okay, that is why I asked to put a cross. Now, just let's read one more time. Machinery costing 30, depreciation 15, sold for 25. Now, what is the profit and loss here? Many students say, sir, the cost is 30, you're selling for 25, so it's a straight away loss of 5,000. It only means that we don't understand the term depreciation. Because there is a depreciation, the cost you will never compare with the selling price. You always compare the book value. So 30,000 minus 15,000, the figure what it is 15,000. The book value of this machinery is 15,000. Now the machinery of 15,000 is sold for 25. Whenever you're selling 25, immediately over here write bank 25,000. And then because you made a profit, you will be writing P&L account here. And what is the profit you made? 10,000. That's it. The ledger is over. Now you have to simply close the ledger. 20 plus 15 is 35. Over here again it is 35. So 5,000 I will be writing as P&L. This is your current year's depreciation. Again the same thing over here. I'm going to close it. 150, 25 plus 15 is what? 40, right? 150 plus 40 is 190,000. 190,000. 190 minus 1 lakh is 90. 90 minus 10 is 80, right? So 80,000 is the balancing figure. I write here bank. Now, again the same rule. Let us write here minus sign and over here plus sign, because we know that anything in the debit has to be minus and anything in the credit has to be plus, so that we never go wrong. So P&L account, P&L is associated with your operating activity. So immediately I will write here O. That means I will have no confusion to start my sum. Bank, investment activity. So this side is clear. The opening and closing is never taken, okay? You only take the other figures. Now let us analyze the credit side. Accumulated depreciation you will not take, as we pass debit and credit effect. Bank, investment activity. I hope you understand why it is investment, because it's machinery. Machinery is your non-current asset. So if you are selling or buying a non-current asset, it becomes investing activity. This is how you analyze your machinery account. Let's move on to accumulated depreciation. This side, there's nothing much to be done. This side, there is only one figure. That is your P&L. P&L, whenever you hear, you should know it is operating activity. What you're going to do, you're going to add it. You very well know depreciation is a non-cash item, so you have to add it. I hope this part is clear. Let's quickly move on to the furniture account. There is a depreciation given for furniture 20,000. One of the furniture costing 10, sold for 8. Okay, and we have furniture. Yes, we do have furniture in the balance sheet. The opening is 3 lakh. So I'm going to write 3 lakh here, and the closing I'm going to write here as 2 lakhs. All right. Now, do we have to create any accumulated depreciation account? No, we don't, because we don't have it. Whenever we have accumulated depreciation, it is mandatory to create a ledger. But for machinery, for furniture, we don't have it. All right. Just for your understanding, this is called as written down method, and this is called as original cost method. Written down method, that means the value which has been written down is after depreciation. Okay, now let's look into this one, fourth one. Depreciation for furniture for the year is 20,000. You're going to record it over here. P&L 20,000. One of the furniture costing 10 sold for 8. So as I told you, whenever you hear the word sold, immediately write the figure 8. Now the furniture's cost is 10, you're selling for 8. That means you made a loss. Profit you recorded in the debit side, right, over here. So loss should be recorded where? This side. So I'm going to write here loss 2000. Now what? Now we have to close the account. So we are closing the account as, okay, one small correction, the figure is 150 here. Okay, there's a small mistake which happened. Okay, now we are going to close the account. 2 lakhs plus 20 plus 10 is 30, that is 2,30,000. 2,30,000, and then I get a balancing figure of 80, right? So what is that? Bank. Same thing, same rules. Let us stick to it. Minus and plus, right? So what is minus means? Bank. As you know, it is furniture is non-operating, so it becomes my investment activity. P&L, with no doubts now, it is your operating activity. Bank, investment activity, P&L, operating activity. So you know what to do now, right? So anything in the credit side, you got to plus it depending on which activity you have to do it. These 4 adjustments are the most common adjustment which comes in the board exam. I have not seen any other adjustment coming beyond this. All right, so if you know this adjustment, if you know the format, I can tell you that you're almost done with this chapter. But yes, you have to practice a lot. Cash flow being one of the easiest chapter, students take it for granted and do silly mistake. The problem over here is if you do one silly mistake over here, okay, let's say the accumulated depreciation goes wrong, the operating activity goes wrong, your investment goes wrong. So out of 6, you probably end up getting 3 marks. And I have seen students getting 3 marks. Okay, so be very careful, do it slowly. I have showed you the trick to do the comprehensive sum, and that trick will help you to complete your sum in 10 to 15 minutes. That's the time you can take for this particular sum. I hope all the adjustments are very clear. If you have doubt, please WhatsApp me or mail me. You can take a screenshot of this slide. In this slide, the same thing we have studied just now has been put across so that you can recap it quickly. Like proposed dividend, if you read, you can, is clearly mentioned. If it's mentioned, if it is there in the adjustment, you have to consider the previous year. And what you're going to do, you're going to add to operating minus from finance. Same thing for provision for tax, for 10% debenture, and for the machinery account. Both the methods are very clearly mentioned here. Step by step, things have been explained. Okay, the remember part is in blue, wherein I have mentioned the ledger is minus sign in the debit side, plus sign is in the credit side. So all the easy tricks, things to be remember is mentioned in this particular slide. Please take a screenshot of it so that whenever you want to recap your cash flow, just go through this slide. I'm sure that will help you. Once this is done, I would advise all of you to look into 2 sums as a test. This sum, you will not do it as a comprehensive sum, but you will only attempt all the adjustment. You have to figure out whether you have to create a ledger or you will give a to effect. Okay, So this is what I would like you to understand. If you understand these adjustments, you don't have to look into any more sums from the textbook. And then the next one is a comprehensive sum. In this comprehensive sum, there is only one adjustment. This is a typical board exam sums where you will get only one adjustment. I would like both the sums to be done and share with me on my email ID. Send a PDF to me. I'll definitely correct both the sums and reply you back with my advices whether the sum is right or wrong. I hope you got a good idea about this chapter. You understood the logic, you understood the format, you understood how to do the posting and the adjustment. Try doing the initial sums and the board sums. I think more than 5 sum is not needed to become an expert in this chapter. That's it for the day for this chapter. Thank you.